Ola prepared his tools, the stranger spoke. They say, you wield a blade unlike any other, Ola, one that can cut not just hair, but the very essence of a person. Ola paused, his interest piqued. And who are they? The spirits of the land, the stranger said, his eyes gleaming. They speak of a barber with a cursed blade, one that has brought both fortune and ruin. Once upon a time, in the whispering savannah, the sun ablazed over the vast expanse of the African savannah, casting long shadows over the undulating grasslands. In the heart of this wilderness lay the bustling village of Ikara, a place where ancient traditions and modernity intertwined seamlessly. It was a village alive with the sounds of life, children's laughter, elders' wisdom, and the hum of daily chores. But among these sounds, there was one that stood out, the snip-snip of scissors and the hiss of a straight razor. They were the tools of Ola, the barber, a man whose reputation extended far beyond the borders of Ikara. Ola was no ordinary barber. He was known for his skills with the razor and his sharp tongue. He had a way with words that could cut as deeply as his blade, earning him the moniker Ola the Wicked Barber. Ola's barbing shop was a modest hut at the edge of the village, shaded by a sprawling baobab tree. The tree was said to be as old as time itself, and legends whispered that it held secrets from the ancestors. Inside the hut, the air was filled with the scent of eucalyptus and sandalwood, a calming aroma that contrasted sharply with the tension that often hung in the air when Ola was at work. One hot afternoon, as the sun dipped towards the horizon, a stranger walked into the village, clad in flowing robes and carrying an air of misery. The stranger made his way to Ola's shop. The villagers watched with bated breath as the stranger stepped inside, for it was rare to see outsiders in Ikara. "Good day, Baba," the stranger greeted, his voice smooth and melodious. "I have traveled far and heard of your remarkable skills. I seek your service." Ola eyed the stranger warily. "What is it you desire, traveler?" "A shave," the stranger replied, "and a tail." Ola smirked. "Very well, take a seat." As Ola prepared his tools, the stranger spoke. "They say you wield a blade unlike any other, Ola, one that can cut not just hair, but the very essence of a person." Ola paused, his interest piqued. "And who are they?" "The spirits of the land," the stranger said, his eyes gleaming. "They speak of a barber with a cursed blade, one that has brought both fortune and ruin." Ola resumed his work, but his mind raced. He had heard such tales before, but he always dismissed them as mere superstition. Yet, there was something about this stranger that unsettled him. As the blade touched the stranger's skin, a strange sensation coursed through Ola. It was as if the blade had come alive in his hand, moving with a will of its own. The shave was flawless, and when Ola was done, the stranger looked younger, almost ageless. "You have done well, Baba," the stranger said, standing up. "But remember this, every cut you make with that blade takes a piece of your soul." Ola laughed, a harsh, meatless sound. "Nonsense, a blade is just a blade." The stranger smiled, a knowing look in his eyes. "We shall see." As the stranger left, Ola felt a chill run down his spine. He shook it off and went about his day, but the words lingered in his mind. That night, he dreamt of the blade, glinting under the moonlight, and of faces he had forgotten, staring back at him with hollow eyes. Days turned into weeks, and life in Ikara went on as usual. Ola continued his work, his blade as sharp as ever. Yet, something had changed. He began to notice strange occurrences. His customers would sometimes leave looking more than just well-groomed. They appeared transformed, as if a weight had been lifted from their shoulders. But with these transformations came whispers, whispers of a darkness that followed Ola, of a curse that clung to his blade. The villagers, once in awe of his skills, now watched him with a mixture of fear and suspicion. One evening, as the sun set and the village gathered around the communal fire, an old woman approached Ola. Her eyes were clouded with age, but her voice was strong. "Ola," she said, "you carry a burden that is not yours." "What do you mean, old mother?" Ola asked, feigning ignorance. "The blade you wield," she replied, "it belongs to the spirit. It demands a price." Ola scoffed. "These are mere superstitions. A blade is just a blade." The old woman shook her head. "You cannot deny the truth forever. The spirit will come for what is theirs." As she walked away, Ola felt a pang of unease. He tried to shake it off, but the seed of doubt had been planted. The next morning, Ola awoke to find his shop in disarray. His tools were scattered, and his prize blade was missing. Panic set in as he searched frantically, but it was nowhere to be found. Desperation drove him to seek out the old woman. He found her sitting by the baobab tree, her eyes closed in meditation. "Old woman," he pleaded, "my blade is gone. Have the spirits taken it?" She opened her eyes and looked at him with a mixture of pity and resolve. "The spirits have indeed taken it, but it is not lost to you. You must journey to the heart of the savannah, to the place where the earth meets the sky. There you will find what you seek." With no other choice, Ola set out on the journey. He traveled for days, the landscape changing from grasslands to rocky outcrops to dense forests. Along the way, he encountered strange and wondrous creatures, each offering cryptic advice. Finally, he reached the edge of a vast desert where the sun met the sky in a shimmering haze. In the distance, he saw a figure standing alone. As he approached, he realized it was a stranger from his shop. "Welcome, Ola," the stranger said. "I have been expecting you." Ola felt a surge of anger. "What have you done with my blade?" "The blade was never yours, Baba," the stranger replied. "It belongs to the spirit. You have been but a vessel, a conduit for this will." Ola clenched his fist. "I want it back." The stranger shook his head. "To reclaim the blade, you must make a sacrifice. Are you willing to pay the price?" Ola hesitated. He had always been a man of logic and reason, but now, faced with the unknown, he felt a flicker of fear. "What must I do?" The stranger pointed to the horizon. "Beyond the dunes lies the spirit well. You must journey there and offer a piece of your soul. Only then will the blade be returned to you." Ola set off once more, his determination fueled by a mix of anger and desperation. The journey was arduous, the desert heat relentless, but he pressed on, driven by the promise of reclaiming his blade. As he reached the spirit well, he felt a strange energy in the air. The well was an ancient structure, carved from stone and adorned with intricate symbols. It pulsed with a blue light, illuminating the surrounding sand. Ola approached cautiously, feeling the weight of the moment. He knelt by the well and peered into its depths. The water was clear, Reflecting the sky above, he could see his own reflection, distorted and shifting. Taking a deep breath, he plunged his hand into the water. A searing pain shot through his arm, and he felt a part of himself being drawn away. He cried out, but he did not pull back. He knew he had to see this through. As the pain subsided, he withdrew his hand, now marked with glowing symbols. He felt weaker, but there was also a sense of clarity. The air around him shimmered, and the blade appeared before him, floating in the air. "You have done well," a voice echoed from the well. "The blade is yours once more, but remember, it carries the burden of the spirit. Use it wisely." Ola grasped the blade, feeling its familiar weight. He knew that his journey was far from over and that the true test was yet to come.